Hello, everybody, and welcome to a brand new stream. I am Alex, aka Alex 3.0, and tonight I'm going to do a couple of reviews to a couple of movies that I recently saw, new releases, of course. And the two big ones here I put in the title were Mission Impossible: Final Reckoning and Final Destination: Bloodlines. Two new installments to two popular IP films or franchises I should say, and also a special, literally like a mini review of another movie I did not put in the title, but you will see when I get to that. We got Transformers fan. Hey man, how's it going? Long time no see, buddy. How you doing? So yeah, kind of have to get going. There's a lot I'm gonna cover tonight. Review three films and then talk about box office stuff with what's been going on here, and maybe a little bit more depending how the night goes. So yeah, first off, to start uh, reviewing is Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, which is the eighth installment of the Mission Impossible franchise, starring, of course, Tom Cruise. And actually, before I saw the movie this past weekend, I did rewatch all the films. It had been a minute since I seen those movies. Just a quick recap on what I think. I'll do a ranking on these movies when I'm done reviewing Final Reckoning. Um, but I like the first movie is fine. It's not like a great movie or anything, but it does have, of course, the one famous scene, the heist uh, scene with Tom Cruise. The scene that's been spoofed, and ripped off so many times throughout the late '90s and early 2000s. Um, that scene still holds up. The whole movie itself is okay. It's not my favorite of the series by a long shot. Mission Impossible 2, uh, that that's not a good movie, and I'm being nice about that. It's not a good movie. Um, Mission Impossible 3, I like a lot. That's one of my favorites. I thought that's where I think the franchise got his footing going. Like it went in, and that movie went into the direction where I think it was for the best. And like they gave the character for Ethan Hunt finally, some personal stakes, I thought, in the third movie. Ghost Protocol was a lot of fun. I really liked that movie. That was the first in the franchise where it was about the team, and I really liked that team they have in the movie. Um, Rogue Nation, I like. Um, it has some cool set pieces. Like I'll say uh, the set pieces in Ghost Protocol are a little bit better, but Rogue Nation has some awesome set pieces on its own, so get credit for that as well. Um, Fallout, again, like that's also a really good one. That's the one with the Henry Cavill as a villain. And if you've seen my past streams, you know I've been very critical of Henry Cavill as an actor. Um, but I thought he did good. Like that's one of his better roles I've seen, where he played the villain in Mission Impossible Fallout. Um, and then the one after that was Dead Reckoning, which was the seventh one. I like that one. Not one of my favorites, but I thought it's still enjoyable enough. Okay, before I get to the final reckoning, here goes. Transformers fan said, "I'm good." I did see Mission Impossible: Final Reckoning Part Two. It was called Dead Reckoning, really. They dropped the whole Part One, Part Two thing to it. I think it's good, but sort of lost interest in these films. They're great, but they're making too many. I do hope this is the last one, not milk it. Um, if you've seen the budget to the movie, it's pretty clear this is gonna be the last one. At least the last one with Tom Cruise, I think, because he's getting up there with age, and I don't really see what else you can do with the franchise. I said that when I talked about the movies coming up in this summer in my last stream that I did a few weeks ago. Um, so yeah. But as for Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, I liked it. I had a good time watching it. I saw it on Memorial Day. It's not perfect. It has its flaws. I'll get into them. There's gonna be some spoilers for anyone who watches this who hasn't seen the movie, so just be warned. I'm not gonna spoil everything about the movie, but there are some things I need to talk about, and I have to spoil some parts on it. But um, like the action was like good. Like I have no problem with the action of the film. Um, the story, it's not, it's not the best in the series. Um, I think they stretched the story a little too long. Which, by the way, this movie is nearly 3 hours long, and uh, at some points I do feel it because there's a lot of exposition that takes a lot of time. Uh, a lot of time to get going. Also, either the exposition is about uh, what the mission is, or stuff that happened in the past films. So there's that's a huge chunk of the first half of the film. Um, so like if you guys remember the last movie, Dead Reckoning, it ended, excuse me, it ended in a cliffhanger, and that has to do with the entity. They set that up in the last film, and here you get to kind of really see what they have to do. Um, so it's like you have to get through a lot of exposition in the film to get to the action that's to get going. Oh, remember this in this movie in this? Well, this is what I mean. There's a lot of callbacks to the past films. Some of them works. There's one specific one that I thought felt forced. And I'll get into it a little bit, but yeah, like the issues, like yeah, there's some story issues here. Um, characters, I think the characters are fine. Like it's most of the actors that have been in the last couple movies. They're back. Other than Tom Cruise, Ving Rhames, obviously back. Simon Pegg is Benji. Um, there's the character of Kittredge, who we saw only in the first movie, and he came back in the and Dead Reckoning. He's again back here. Unfortunately, there were some good characters in the last movie that are not in this one. Of course, I'm talking about Rebecca Ferguson's character. Uh, she was in the last couple of movies. Spoiler alert from 2023. Yeah, she got killed off in the last film, so she's not back, obviously. Um, I also really liked Vanessa Kirby's character, the White Widow. I think that's her name in Fallout and Dead Reckoning. She's not in this one because I believe she was busy filming Fantastic Four, First Steps when they were filming this movie. So like that character, like like was a good character that I think would have helped the film. I know there's some new characters that were introduced in the last movie that are back. They're fine. I mean, I don't really have a problem with any of the characters in this movie, other than uh, the two cops that you saw in the last one. Yeah, one of them. Okay, I guess I'm gonna have to get to the spoilers here. One of them tags along with the team, and the other one is kind of stays behind and is with Kittredge and uh, the IMF agents. Um, the guy that, the agent that joins the team, he's kind of a bland character. I didn't really care for him. The other guy that doesn't join the team, the one that uh is with the share scenes with Kittredge, that guy, he played the cop and Joker. You know, the more slimmer cop. Um, okay, this is what I'm getting into spoilers. Let's see. I'm gonna have to put the spoiler tag here. Let's see. Give me a second. Spoiler alert. This is a spoiler of what I'm about to say. But that cop that was chasing Ethan Hunt around in the last film, that actor was in Joker. He was one of the cops that got beat up in the train, Joker. That guy is revealed to be the son of John Voight's character in the original film. Now, this is one of the callbacks, and this is the one callback in the past movie where I felt was forced because it comes, it, the reveal comes halfway through the film. He has one scene with Ethan Hunt, and then he just says, well, "I'm not after you because I'm here for revenge." And you're thinking they're trying to make you think like, "Oh, is he gonna try to kill Ethan or what?" But I just felt that's something that's a reveal that they should have just deleted. I don't. If it can't, they made the reveal too late. It's like if they would have made that reveal in the last film and then have his character go after Ethan throughout the whole film, knowing that, then it might have worked. But I think they just revealed it too late. To the point like, well, why even do that now? There's so much going on in the film, um, that it just feels like you're doing too much here. All right. It's cool to see a lot of Easter eggs from previous films, whether it's for a quick moment or for a twist. But it has done right. Yeah, I mean, I'll get to the other stuff, but in a minute here. But Transformers fan, but like that John Voight tie-in to the first one, I don't think it worked. Okay, now the ones that did work was the tie-in to Mission Impossible 3, where if you remember that movie, the whole movie, the IMF uh, company, Ethan Hunt, and the villain played by the great late Phyllis Seymour Hoffman. They were chasing this thing called the Rabbit's Foot, and you never get to find out in that movie what it is. It's just a MacGuffin for the film, for that movie. In this movie, you find out what it really is and what happened to it. And I thought that was done well. Like that was a great reveal. I thought it's like, oh yes, that's awesome. That's an Easter egg. I think the callback that worked. A little plot point from a past film that they brought back here. Um, I thought that was done well. The other one, this is from the first movie, the heist scene. When Ethan hacked the system in the original movie, the guy that they hacked the system from, that character comes back in this movie and becomes kind of important, and you see what happened after that. That was really good. I liked that. That tie into the first movie was good. The tie into the third movie was good. The John Voight one from the first movie didn't work for me. So, okay. So, all right. So I'm gonna have just I guess some little more spoilers here. Um, there's an emotional scene, or there's a couple emotional scenes in the movie, but there's a big one that I thought was done well. Let's just say, if you've been watching these movies from the beginning, it's definitely gonna hit you emotionally. It hit me emotionally, and I think the fact that they had that kind of early in the movie, and they tried to do that with other characters from in the movie, I felt like they chickened out at the end. Uh, with the finale, with a certain thing in the finale, certain things I should say. Don't get me wrong, the finale was good. It was intense. It was action packed. I was entertained, but I felt like they tried to do something and they chickened out last minute. And I think the reason why they did that was because they probably thought, well, this could be the last movie, but in case the movie's a big success, we can come back to it and do part 9 here. Because the way the movie actually ends, it didn't really feel like this is it. This is the end. Ain't going back, no matter what. Like Mission Impossible 3's finale felt more definitive. Um Even though the ending of Fallout felt more like a finale. This just felt like the ending of any other Mission Impossible movie, like the rest of them. Like, okay, well, see you next time. Like, huh? Um, that felt a little, I think, underwhelming in that regard. Like the finale itself, like the action stuff, that was all good. The plane scene you see in the trailer, that was good. A little, okay, I will say a little anticlimactic. The final fight, you could have done something else with that, but the way the plane scene was filmed, that was like it was entertaining. The submarine scene, um, that was really intense. I thought. So I'm trying to think of other action movies. Sorry, other action scenes that stood out, but like those are the ones that stood out the most in this movie. They don't top the action in Ghost Protocol, Fallout, or even some of the ones in Rogue Nation. I think, or the one scene in the original movie. But um, and like I said, like the movie's almost 3 hours long, so um, just like a lot to get through, like exposition wise. Like if you're not a fan of a lot of exposition, I mean, it is gonna be an issue. So that's really it for spoilers here. So I'll take the banner off. Um, so yeah, overall, I think, I mean, like I said earlier, the the massive budget to this movie is the reason why I don't think there's gonna be another one after this. At least not with Tom Cruise. I mean, at least not for a while. I mean, it just there was no reason why this movie needed to cost $400 million. That's just a production budget. That's not even counting marketing, which is ridiculous. Even for this movie. I mean, when you see the movie, you're like, I mean, I can see this movie cost 200, 250, like around that area, but like 400 million. That's ridiculous. That's insane. Uh, but yeah, overall, it was a decent Mission Impossible movie. Not the best one. Has its issues. A little too long. A little too much exposition for my taste. but the characters are for the most part good. Um, Action scenes, they're pretty good. Some of them are really good. All right. It's basically the more money they spend, they expect to make 10 times its budget. Yeah, it's just like if it gets more expensive after this, like there's no way this movie. I'll get to the box office later. There's no way that the movie, even if this was the best one and the word of mouth was really good out of any of the other Mission Impossible movies, they still wouldn't make his money back. That's how ridiculous the budget is for this movie. I mean, 400 million. That's not even including marketing. So yeah, yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, it just felt like a just another Mission Impossible movie that was decent, but you know, like it's weird because like the final action scene feels like a finale, definitely, but um, the final scene of the film was just like, oh well, kind of see you next time, maybe, question mark. So it's weird. It wanted its cake and eat it too, which is an odd thing to do. But oh well, I don't see another one being made right now. So I mean, at least Tom Cruise has Top Gun to go back to, which I think that movie's being developed right now. So I think you might have. I think there's more to do with that. Which is funny. I mentioned Top Gun because there's this sequence in the film that it just all of a sudden it feels like Top Gun. Like what the hell? It's like this movie came. It's odd. That was very jarring. I thought. Yeah, Transformers. Yeah, Top Gun 3. Yeah, because I love the second one, Top Gun Maverick. That was a great movie. I'm not even like a. I wasn't even a big fan of the original Top Gun, but like that second movie was amazing. Um, so yeah, I'll be down for Top Gun 3. But yeah, I mean, Transformers, man, like you know what I'm talking about. When I say that there's a sequence in this movie where it feels like it's a Top Gun movie all of a sudden. Like what the hell? Like it switched from Mission Impossible to Top Gun like I don't know where. I thought that was very weird. Maybe that was Tom Cruise's way, and Chris McQuarrie, the director, who also I think he directed Top Gun Maverick. I know he co-wrote it too. Um, that's like the way of saying like Top Gun 3. We're putting Top Gun Easter egg just because. So yeah. Hey Timon, how's it going? How's your evening going? So I'm just talking about some Mission Impossible. I'm done talking about this movie. I don't want to give too much away. I already give a little bit of spoilers. But overall, I enjoyed it, but it's very flawed. Um, I mean, sorry, like no, you're on time. I'm just getting started. I got two more movies to review, and I'm gonna talk about box office numbers that are going on and potential box office stuff that movies from haven't come out yet. So yeah, I'm just getting started. This is like first review I've done of the night. Um, yeah. So ranking really quickly. I thought about this for the last couple of days. Like, how do I rank the Mission Impossible movies now that I rewatched all of them and I saw this new one? Okay, I will say from best to worst. My favorite one to this day is Ghost Protocol. That's my number one. At number two, I would say, I'm going back and forth with this. I'll probably say Mission Impossible 3 as my number two. My number three, Fallout. Number four, probably Rogue Nation. Number five, this one, Final Reckoning. Number six, Dead Reckoning. Seven, Mission Impossible 1. And dead last, Mission Impossible 2, which is a bad movie. So that's how I rank them. Have you guys seen all the movies? How do you rank them? Let me know. What's your favorite? Which one's the weakest for you, and whatnot. So that's enough Mission Impossible for tonight. Um, all right. Moving on to, I know the title says Final Destination Bloodlines, but before I get to Final Destination Bloodlines, um, 2 weeks ago, I did my own little double feature at my local theater. Uh, Not only did I see Final Destination Bloodlines, but I saw another movie, another horror movie. Um, the Before I saw Final Destination Bloodlines. And I did a horror double feature that day, and that was Cloud in the Cornfield, which is from the director of, I believe, Tucker and Dale versus Evil. If you guys remember that movie, I like the movie a lot. The Tucker and Dale versus Evil. So I kind of I had some expectations for this movie. I didn't have like high expectations because I thought the trailer was just okay. Um, Overall, I enjoyed this movie. I didn't think it was amazing or anything. Um, but for a I would say like a horror comedy in the 2020s, this movie I thought worked better than some other horror comedies that have come out in the recent years. Um, sorry, what was I trying to say? I was about to guess if you saw Bring Her Back, directed by the Raka YouTubers. I don't even know what that is, Transformers fan. So, no, I don't even know what that is. Um, so yeah, Clown and Cornfield. Um, cause if you know me, I will say the majority of killer clown movies are pretty bad. I mean, a lot of them are low budget. This is like low budget mainstream standards. It's not like the movie cost like $2,000 to make. It was like a $1 million budget. That's pretty low. That's like the budget of like an '80s slasher movie back in the day. Um, which is this is a throwback to like that era. Um, yeah, I thought the movie was entertaining. I thought the it is a horror comedy. And I thought the comedy aspect to the film I thought worked. Where I think like something like Hard Eyes that came out earlier this year didn't work for me. The comedy aspect to that movie, or something like Happy Death Day to You, the sequel to Happy Death Day. I don't think that worked when it comes to horror comedy. And some other horror comedies that come out the last 2 3 years. Anyway, Clown Cornfield. So the plot's pretty basic. Small town. They have this festivity that's going on. That's very uh, traditional to that little town. So it's something definitely weird off about the people that live there. It almost plays like kind of like a more violent version of Are You Afraid of the Dark? A little bit. Like I got that vibe from it. Also, an '80s slasher vibe to it, as well as the movie Thanksgiving, which that movie itself also a throwback to '80s slasher movies. Let's see. It's their second directed movie after Talk to Me. I've seen Talk to Me. Wasn't the biggest fan, but like, whatever. Are they doing a sequel to Talk to Me? Clan Cornfield felt like a typical horror slasher film. It's stupid, fun, silly with gory kills. Yeah, I mean that's pretty much sums it up, Transformers, man. It is stupid, but it is silly, but it's also a lot of fun. I thought the gory kills were good. The characters are not like your best uh characters. I mean, like I said, it's very much like an '80s slasher movie, like not like one of the ones like the popular ones like Friday 13th or Elm Street or Halloween. It's like one of the lower ones, you know. It definitely has that vibe to it. Um, I mean, you've seen the trailer. There's this bit in the film where the two girls are trying to hide and trying to call the police in this old house. They trespass in. They have a what do you call it? Rotating phones, like the really old ones. And of course, they're Gen Z teenagers, so of course they don't know how to use it. That was a hilarious bit. Like that's one of the comedy bits that really worked for me. But yeah, I mean, I don't think. I mean, the name of the killer is Friend of the Clown. I don't think this villain is going to become like uh, an icon, horror icon, like kind of like Art the Clown or Pennywise. Like those are uh, clown horror icons. I don't think this character is going to be one, unfortunately. Um, there are twists in the movies. I felt like the twists were. I kind of saw it coming. I kind of saw it coming. I think something like I'll give more props to Thanksgiving. I thought the twist in that movie was a little more shocking, whereas this one, like, oh well, I could see that coming, like a mile away. So, um, yeah, like I said, I mean, the characters, they're the kind of characters you would see in a low budget '80s slasher movie. Not much to them, I don't think. The acting wasn't bad, but like for this kind, it wasn't bad for this kind of movie. I'll say the kills are good. They're pretty gory. Most of the humor worked, I thought. Uh, I mean, you won't recognize any of the. There's not really like recognizable actors other than like I recognized Kevin Durand, who was, if you're familiar with him, he was in Abigail last year. He played the Blob in X Men Origins. Good character actor. I thought he did fine in the movie. And the other actor I recognized was Will Sasso from MTV. He plays the sheriff in this movie. I know he's just like he does pretty much a typical silly um, Southern sheriff type of character. So Midwest. I mean, I forgot what state they takes place in. Um, Small town sheriff. You know, not much to the character. I don't think. Um, but yeah, I mean, this was I wanted to watch this movie before it got pulled from theaters because it didn't really open that well. And a movie that doesn't open well doesn't last longer than 2 3 weeks in the theater. So yeah, I mean, I mean, this is the kind of movie that we're like, oh well, if I waited for streaming, to watch it, I wouldn't be too bummed. It has like, okay, well, it's a fun. You could wait for streaming for this one. I mean, it's not like a big theatrical experience. Um, but I don't want to get into spoilers here because majority of people have not seen this movie. So I will say the twist. There's two twists. One with the one of the characters, and one about the who is the killer. The who is the killer part I saw a mile coming. I saw a mile away. Not really shocking. The twist with the characters, not so much the killer, but the plot twist. That was more surprising, and I know some people. I don't want to get into this, but like too much. But I know some people in social media have called this movie quote unquote woke. Oh, I'm just like whatever, dude. That's a buzzword at this point. That's not real criticism of film anyway. But I mean, I thought it worked, and like yeah. So not really much to this movie other than like okay, if you're just looking for uh a throwback slasher movie. This is a good watch. Not as good as Thanksgiving, I don't think. Is but better than something like Hard Eyes or Happy Death Day to You, stuff like that, where like they put too much comedy in some of these horror movies, where it just takes away, I think, from the movie. I didn't feel that for this movie. So it's a good watch. I mean, it's not in theaters anymore, so like you haven't seen it. Like, it's a good watch for streaming, I will say. So yeah, that was the first movie I saw 2 weeks ago in a double feature. The second movie, of course, which is the second title I have here in this um title for the stream, and that is Final Destination. Yeah, sorry, Final Destination Bloodlines, which is the return of the franchise. We haven't seen a Final Destination movie since 2011 with Final Destination 5. Again, just like I talked about, just like I did with Mission Impossible. Quick recap on the past Final Destination movies. First one I still enjoyed, very solid movie. Second one, Final Destination 2, solid sequel. I still enjoy it. The iconic uh, highway scene with the log truck, still great. Still done very well. Final Destination 3 has its the roller coaster stuff, like the kills, they're all good. But the problem with I have with the third movie is just too many unlikable characters. I understand the first two Destination movies had that one asshole character throughout the whole movie, but the problem with the third one is you have one after another. It just becomes exhausting. Um, the fourth one, The Final Destination, that movie is just garbage. There's like really no redeeming qualities to it. The 3D looks awful. The CGI looks awful, and yeah. So you already know what's gonna be last in my ranking of Final Destination by saying that. Final Destination 5, it's fine. It's not a great movie. I know it's a lot of people's favorite, the fifth one, but I think because the reason why I think it's people's favorites is because the twist in that movie, the final at the end, which just was great. That's a great twist. I agree, but I think that's why it's people's favorites. The rest of the movie is just okay. Okay, now with this one, Final Destination Bloodlines. Okay, before I get to it, I'm gonna read Transformers fans' comment. This became my favorite instantly. Many say that part 1 or 3 are the favorites, but I love the second one. It used to be my favorite, but Bloodlines took its spot. Oh, really? Okay, that's cool. I can see why. Um, I had pretty. I didn't expect this movie to be my favorite. Um, but coming in before I saw it, but I will say it did deliver from what we're used to and seeing in Final Destination movies. Um, the opening itself, you've seen a lot of it in the trailer. There's one or two parts about the opening that the trailer did not reveal, which I thought were great. The whole sky, what is it called? The Sky Tower, the one in Seattle. Rest in peace, Tony Todd. Yes, rest in peace, Tony Todd. I'll get to Tony Todd in a minute here. The whole opening is great. Still, the opening and the second one is the best one in my opinion. Like the disaster, the vision, the premonition. Like this, the one in Foundation Destination 2 is the best one. This one was really good. Like the opening in Bloodlines was awesome. Um, let's see the. Wish I could the most characters or kills. I'll say kills. All right, so the kills I thought the role they're all good. There's one or two kills where I think the CGI took away from it. Specifically, one kill that really surprised me. The way it was filmed. You don't expect it to happen, and when it happens, you're like, oh shit. There's a lot of moments like that when I was watching the movie. I was like, oh shit, like it really got me. By the way, the trailer does not give away everything. It gives away a lot of the opening and the cookout scene you saw in the trailer. Like, yeah, it gives away a lot in that scene and what you saw in the teaser trailer. Other than that, most of the other kills you see in the movie, they're not. I don't remember seeing them in the trailer, so they're pretty. I think they're pretty surprising. But the way that was done, the one certain kill that came out of nowhere, like that was good, except there was a little too much CG for my taste, and then that's really my only like big problem with the movie. Whereas like I wish they would have used more practical effects rather than CG, because a lot of the effects in the first one, two, and even three are kind of practical. And yes, they have CG, but like they kind of balance them. Then when you get to the fourth movie and the fifth movie, there's more CG, and here same thing, more CG, and like some of it looks cartoony, some of them looks okay or passable enough, but that's my only like big like issue, like the biggest issue for me in the film. A little too much CG for my taste. Some of the films use CG because sometimes some moments can't be done. I understand that, but there was one specific kill in this movie that if it was practical, it would have looked amazing. Especially how it was set up. It's like they almost had it, but like the CG took away from it. I thought it just looked too cartoonish for my taste. I understand you can't do everything practical. Um. So I'm gonna get off that tangent about CGI versus practical. Um. But most of the kills were all really good. I thought it just like one or two CG shots took me out of it a little bit. The characters. This is why I get to this. This is also getting into the story. I really like the family storyline in this movie. The characters here. Um, because this is the family storyline. It was for the first time in a Final Destination movie. There isn't an unlikable character. There isn't a jerk character, an asshole character. They're all pretty likable. I liked all the characters. Some better than others, obviously. But there wasn't a character like Carter in the first movie, or Eugene in the second one, or half of the cast, half of the characters in the third movie, or the majority of characters in the fourth one, or some of the characters in the fifth one. Like there wasn't a character like that, and I thought that was refreshing. I thought that was like smart to do because, and if you are a horror fan, for me personally, I prefer when the majority of characters in a horror movie are likable, because once if you have too many likable characters, um, you're just waiting for them to die. Where in this one, when the characters for me that I liked, when they eventually get killed, you care. Like oh shit, like fuck. Um, which is that's something like that's one aspect about this movie that did better than pretty much all of them other Final Destination movies. Um, let's see. Literally, one of the characters I felt bad for him. He got the most brutal death, which made me feel even more for him. I'm pretty sure you know who he is from the first season. Yes, yes, him. That tattoo guy. I'm not gonna see too much now because this is a spoiler, and I don't want to give away too much, honestly. Yeah, he's a lot of people's favorite character in this movie, and I can see why. Um, he had one of the most he has standout moments. Definitely. Like if you just see him, you think like, oh, in a horror movie, or in a Final Destination movie, you would probably hate him, or you'd probably be the jerk character. No, he's not. He's actually really likable. Again, like I said, like likable characters, even in this franchise, is refreshing. There isn't a Carter. There isn't a Eugene. There isn't a Frankie Cheeks. You know, there's the douchebag characters. You can't wait for them to die. There isn't a character in this movie like this. So that was a huge plus for me. Um, yes, you do still have this typical Final Destination thing where like the main character is trying to convince the other characters that this is the real thing. There's a design, all that, and of course they don't believe the character. You still have that, but you don't have. But since it's a family, yes, even though they don't believe her at first, the main girl in this movie, I want to get her name almost on. I want to get someone. I keep seeing this guy and this girl and this person. I want to get their names right actually for this. Yeah, they still have the typical phone destination thing. Like they don't believe, but as the movie goes on, they do start believing. But they're not a jerk about it. They're more like they're like, of course, like if this happened in real life and somebody came to you after a death and like this is this design and you're next and this person like I'd be like, oh, like, okay, oh, relax. Like I wouldn't believe it at first, but of course, in typical Final Destination fashion, though as the movie goes on, yes, they start believing them. So you still have that. It's just like you want to have a character that is a complete unlikable asshole. They got rid of that, and I'm happy they did that. That was refreshing. Let's see. Come on, IMDb, you are my friend. Okay. So yeah. The girl you saw. Okay, I'll say the lead girl, Stephanie. Um, as as when it comes to like Final Destination lead characters, I thought she was okay. Um, my favorite one is still Devon Sawa as Alex Browning. I mean, it's hard to top that character as the lead. This girl Stephanie, she's not as good as Alex. She's not as good as Claire, or even Wendy from Final Destination 3. Like as many problems I have with Part 3, Mary Elizabeth Winstead as Wendy, she's a standout. Like she was great in that movie. Um, like I'll put this girl Stephanie like in the same league as Kimberly from Final Destination 2. Like she's okay. I always thought she was kind of bland. This girl's okay. Some bland in some parts, but like not like unlikable or anything. Like all the characters in Part 4. Sam, Sam also from Part 5. He's also okay. Not the best one. Not the best lead. Um, so that's where I'll give it. She's the lead in this movie, and she's the granddaughter of the girl you see in the opening. That's where you get the family connection here. That was all done well. Like you see the grandma. Okay. This might be this might go in spoiler territory here. So spoiler alert, because in case this wasn't in the trailer or this wasn't shown in the trailer. Um, so the lead girl Stephanie, she starts getting visions, not her own visions, but the visions of her grandma that she had in the opening of the film. So um, she finds out where she is. She's pretty much Laurie Strode from Halloween 2018. Um, but what I liked about this, even though this was trying to quote unquote rip off Laurie Strode from 2018, this is what I think. If someone like Alex was still alive or Claire was still alive, cheating death for decades. Like kind of like how you saw in the scene in the first movie where Alex is locked up in the cabin. But imagine if somebody was locked up in the cabin like that for decades. They would be a little crazy. Like the way that was done. Yes, someone is played for laughs. But I thought, oh, that was kind of cool. Like it's the next step. I thought, and seclusion, cheating death or like hiding from death. I like that was a pretty cool aspect to the movie. The spoiler warning: the scene with the kid with the penny literally made everyone, including myself, laughing when the piano landed on him. That's a spoiler. Yes, yes. Um, good riddance, I say. Um, yeah, like the whole seclusion aspect, like what you saw in the first movie, they take it to the next level in this one. That was done well. Um, as for the finale, though, okay, the deaths were good. Characters were likable. I really like the family aspect to it, and the finale itself was fine, not the best. Um, Honestly, though, looking back, most of the finales are not the standout to the films. It's the opening premonitions and the deaths. But when it comes to finales, I honestly don't know which one my favorite is. If a gun to my head, I would probably say the second movie. Like that has yeah. This one was fine. There were some really cool moments in the finale, but I'm not gonna give away everything. But so that was good. All right, so on to the this was my favorite, like the scene of the film. What I'm about to say right now. Um, the opening was great and the kills are good. Now, okay, let's see. Transformers fan said, what involved about the ending was the large callback from the second film scene with Final Fantasy 5 where the character already had the log truck pumped. I don't remember the log truck in the in Final Destination 5, but I noticed the one in this one. That was a good callback. I laughed. That was awesome. I mean, I mean to say like non. Okay, so you meant to say what you liked about the ending? Yeah, I mean that's not part of the finale. It's when the characters are trying to go from point A to point B. They're driving and they see the log truck. That was just like that was for Easter egg for the fans. Okay, so my favorite part of the movie, and this should become no surprise. People have been talking about this for since the movie came out. Was the Tony Todd scene? He has one scene in the film, and okay, first of all, rest in peace, Tony Todd. He comes back one last time as Bloodworth. Not only, not only do we he comes back as Bloodworth for one last time, we find out his first name, which I believe. Hold on, I believe it was William John Bloodworth. That is his full name. And then we find out who he really is. Because I do have to talk about this. So spoiler alert, right there, banner. All right, one, we find out who he is. He, as a child, was there at the in the opening where Stephanie's grandma Iris, when she was a young woman, she had the premonition. She saved all those people. One of the people that was there was Bloodworth as a child because his mother was there singing. Uh, you see in the trailer, you see that people in like a band singing. His mom was there. She was supposed to die, and he was supposed to die. In the premonition, though, that you see in the opening, um, Iris and Bloodworth as a kid were supposed to die last. Now, in this storyline, since a bunch of people were gonna die, and then she cheated death. All those people that lived, she saved. Um, they'll ended up having families and whatnot. So death has been coming back and killing everybody that was supposed to die, including the family members they had, the kids they had, and grandkids, and in that order. So Iris and her family are pretty much the last ones, and so is Bloodworth. And that's why he explains why he knows so much and why he's still alive in the series. Now, I will say my only nitpick here, and this is a nitpick. I'm giving this a pass here. My only nitpick to this revelation is does not explain why Bloodworth has been creepy throughout the entire series. He doesn't act creepy at all. He acts normal. I understand he was sick, and I'll get into that. This is the only Final Destination movie where we're gonna see Bloodworth where he's not being intimidating. He's just talking normal to these characters when they come to him for help. That whole scene though, even before he gets into his monologue, before he leaves the film, I got emotional. I mean, it's Tony Todd. I knew I was gonna get emotional. Watching him in the film, it's definitely like just like I've said this to many people, just like seeing Donald Pleasance as Loomis and Christopher Michael Myers, where when that movie came out, he already had passed away. Same thing with Tony Todd here. So just once he showed up, I was emotional from beginning to end in his whole sequence here, his whole scene. He has that great monologue where he tells the characters, "Hey, I'm done. I lived a long life. I'm gonna retire in my job, and he tells him how to cheat death and everything, but he's just like, yeah, I'm done here, man. I mean, and he has that great monologue where he says, I'm paraphrasing here. He says, "Life is short. Enjoy what little time you have left." And he tells him good luck. That was his whole monologue. Yes, I know Trevor I get to it. Tony Todd improvised all that. The directors let him write his own dialogue. They had dialogue for him, surrounding the plot and the characters, but they let him because they knew. I mean, he knew this is it for him, and that was very emotional. It's kind of odd that to me that a Final Destination movie has an emotional scene like this. I know because Tony Todd passed away, but that added to the movie. And even though he was sick and dying at this point, he still does a great job. I mean, it just goes to show you how the little screen time he had in these movies, he always made the most of it. And the same thing here. So, yeah, many say that he was the Grim Reaper, but it made sense, like in the first one when he said to Alex, "I'll see you soon," and indicated that his time's coming. Yeah, because he was a mortician, and in these movies, his monologue wasn't part of the script. It was a message to us. But yeah. I mean I thought the way he delivered that monologue was perfect. I mean, I can't even uh I can't even do it justice here. And I thought I was very respectful for his character. I was very respectful for him. Um, and I will say, last spoiler, in that whole scene, when he's telling the characters how to cheat death, he mentions, you, just like in Final Destination 5, he tells them you either have to kill somebody, you get their life, or you die and you come back. Your heart pretty much has to stop, and when you come back, you break the chain. And that's something that we saw in Final Destination 2, and he mentions that he only knows one person that did that. He doesn't say the name, but we don't know who he's talking about. Assuming he's talking about Kimberly from Final Destination 2. She did not die in that movie. We never saw her and Officer Burke die. At the end of that, they cheated death, and they haven't come back to the franchise since. I know a lot of fans were saying like, "Oh, there's a newspaper clipping, that the characters got killed by a wood chipper or something like." But that's a deleted scene of Final Destination 3 that was part of that choose your own fate thing in the DVD. Yeah, that's not canon, guys. I never felt that was canon. So like, oh yeah, like he mentions like you can bring back those characters if you so choose to. Um, that was a nice little Easter egg for Final Destination 2 fans. Right, the director said that the seventh film might happen if it's demanded by the fans. Even though the producers say that they can go as far back as doing it while it was interesting concept. Yeah, I'm no doubt there was gonna be a seventh one. No doubt. Yeah, you can do a lot with the Final Destination. You know, now that you, unfortunately, you're not gonna have Tony Todd in these movies anymore. Um, okay, this is after spoilers. Um, yeah, unfortunately, even though you're not gonna have Tony Todd in these movies anymore, you can make prequels. You can make any era where some of this stuff has happened. It's actually kind of endless here. Um, so yeah, I mean, I will say just for the Tony Todd scene alone, that's worth the price of admission. Even if let's say you end up not liking the movie, that scene alone was worth the price of admission. I knew it was going to, and it delivered. That scene alone, 10 out of 10. That's all I'm saying. Not the movie, that scene though. The movie is not perfect. It's entertaining as hell. It's a great crowd movie for sure. I have my issues here and there. I'm also with the CG, but that Tony Todd scene, man, that was my favorite scene in the movie. I had a feeling that was gonna be my favorite scene in the movie, and it was watching it. Other than the opening. Um, so yeah. So yeah. Overall, I really enjoyed Final Destination Bloodlines. I have more to say about this movie than Mission Impossible, actually. So, I mean, I'm a horror fan, so of course. Um. So yeah, ranking. What's your favorite Final Destination movies? How you rank them? All right, so I'm gonna rank them from best to worst here. Movies. Uh, my favorite number one is the original. Second place, Final Destination 2. Third place, this one, Final Destination Bloodlines. At number 4, I will say Final Destination 5. At number 5, Final Destination 3. And last place, dead last at the bottom of the barrel, the Final Destination, aka Final Destination 4. Trash movie. It's horrible. All right. Transformers fan says Bloodlines is his favorite. That's awesome. Then part 2, then part 1, then 5, and 3 and 4. So like our second half or the ranking is pretty much the same. Transformers fan. It's just our top 3 are different. I still have one. It's backwards actually. It's for you. It's Bloodlines 2 and 1. Mine is 1, 2, and Bloodlines, and then the rest are the same. So that's pretty interesting. So yeah, anyone else watches later, tell me your ranking of Mission Impossible movies and Final Destination. I'm curious to see what you think of all these movies. Have you seen them all? Of course, you can rank these movies. You haven't seen all of them, or the new one. I mean, I had a feeling I was gonna enjoy this movie, but like, even I think it kind of exceeded my expectations a little bit. I mean, at least when it comes to the deaths. Because I thought the trailer gave away most of the scenes in the movie. It doesn't. No, it doesn't. There's a lot of surprises here. Um, one last thing I will say, just like some of the past Final Destination movies, the use of music is great. That's another thing why I like about this movie. Other than other than the kills, the characters, the family storyline, the opening, Tony Todd scene, the use of music was awesome. I love the way they use certain songs. That now when I hear those songs, I'm gonna be thinking about this movie. Um, I will say, uh, the song "Shout." The way that, okay, I'll say that. The way that song was used was great. And last thing I'll say is, um, don't steal pennies off the water fountain. Okay, it can, it might ruin your life. I'll just say that. Fucking pennies. All right, so that's enough Final Destination talk for now. Alrighty. So, I do want to talk about something else here. And this is it. That's it for reviews. If you're here, you're just here for reviews. I'm done reviewing movies for the night. I mean, obviously, I'm still talking about movies, but not reviewing stuff. Yeah. All right. So, box office. I'm gonna get into the box office talk here. So this is the current weekend's box office here. All right. This is from the numbers here. So, of course, Lilo and Stitch was a big release. Broke the Memorial Day weekend record. It's a movie I haven't seen. To be honest, I haven't even seen the original Lilo and Stitch. I just never got around to watch it ever. So I have no really emotional attachment to this remake, live action remake from Disney. But it seems a lot of people loved it. A lot of people saw it this past weekend. They're gonna keep watching it. So what's interesting, it opened the same weekend as Mission Impossible: Final Reckoning. What's interesting about this is that Tom Cruise and Lilo and Stitch have a history. Back in 2002, when the animated Lilo and Stitch came out, the Tom Cruise movie Minority Report came out the same exact weekend. And Tom Cruise movie Minority Report barely beat out the original animated Lilo and Stitch. Now, 23 years later, the live action Lilo and Stitch beats off Tom Cruise. Beats off. Sorry about that. Freudian slip. Beats Tom Cruise at the box office by a lot this time. Not only that, Lilo and Stitch, the live action Lilo and Stitch, broke the Memorial Day weekend record. It beat a Tom Cruise movie, Top Gun Maverick. Top Gun Maverick's Memorial Day weekend. So it beat Tom Cruise twice, so it got revenge. Damn, Lilo and Stitch got revenge on Tom Cruise. Wait, what's the saying? Two birds, one stone. Definitely. As you can see here, Final Destination Bloodlines still making money. It actually, it's at 192 million worldwide, so that's the biggest. Already, that's the biggest Final Destination moneymaker here, and the budget was only 50 million, so it's made its profit already. I wanted to get to the Mission Impossible box office stuff. All right. Also, I saw the new horror. Sorry. Also, I saw the new horror Mickey Mouse movie, Screamboat, by the same guy who did the main one, aka the Grinch horror movie. At least he knows how to make it silly and not too serious, like Blood and Honey and the rest. See, I'm not. I hated that first Blood and Honey movie. The second one was more tolerable. I just more silly. No thanks. I mean, these horror versions of these characters, I'm just not a fan of. A lot of it has to do with the low budget and shit, and just like, nah. I mean, I'm good, honestly. I mean, but Transformers fan, did you like Screamboat and the mean one? Curious. I know you say they're silly, but did you like them though? A lot of people like them, but they're not for me. All right, Mission Impossible. Right now is at 222 worldwide. 222 million worldwide. That's good. The problem is it cost 400 million to make. The budget's 400 million. Here, it says right here. Yep, right here. Production budget 400 million. And that's not even including marketing, which was a lot. So, yeah, it's not going to make your money back. So that's what I was saying when I was talking about I don't think there's going to be another Mission Impossible anytime soon, because even if it makes 600 million worldwide, that budget is ridiculous, and yeah, it's just not. The highest grossing one is Fallout with like 700 million. Like, if that movie had a $400 million budget, they wouldn't make his money back. So, one made 5 million and two made 7 million. Yes, I did, because they have David Howard Thornton as a Grinch and Steamboy Willie. Oh yeah, David Howard Thornton, who plays Art the Clown in the Terrifier movies. He plays those characters in these. Okay, I guess that's why you like him. That makes sense. I mean, I may not be the biggest Terrifier fan, but I've always said from the beginning, even though when that first movie came out, I said the movie was overrated and it was terrible, but I liked him. I think he's been consistently good as that character, Art the Clown. And for me, the movies are getting better because of it. Still not like a huge fan of the franchise. They're one-time watch for me. With the first one being terrible, the second one being tolerable, watchable, but not good, and the third one enjoyable enough. I will say the third one has easily been the best one for me. The Terrifier films. David Howard Thornton as the Art the Clown, I think he's getting better as the movie's going on. The characters being more entertaining. I really like the way he plays it. So it makes sense why you like these ones. I mean, for me, it's not enough to watch them. I'm already tired of these low budget horror versions of children's characters. So I know it has its fans, but like, nah, like I said, not for me. So yeah, Mission Impossible. Again, by just number standards, those are good numbers. But even for Mission Impossible, they're good numbers. But like I said, the budget ridiculous. No. All right. Here we go. Thunderbolts, which I reviewed a couple weeks ago. Good movie. But yeah, it's not enough people want to go see it, unfortunately. And they're already saying that Disney Marvel is gonna lose money on this movie, which is a shame. But like, that's what happens when you do a lot of Marvel movies that, and also Marvel shows. Let's not forget, too much saturation here on their part, where people are getting tired of it, and people still feel fatigue for Marvel, even though this movie was well received. It hasn't made enough. So yeah, I don't think it's even gonna reach 400. I mean, it's be lucky to do it now, but yeah, that's not good enough. And they get Fantastic Four coming out this summer. It has to do a lot better than that. Like, okay, if Fantastic Four opens the same as Thunderbolts, or not that much more, then I can guarantee you Kevin Feige is gonna push the panic button on this. Cause yeah, Avengers Doomsday, which by the way has been pushed back to December 2026 to summer 2026, which is good. Give it more time to fix some things that need to be fixed, all that stuff. Yeah, there's hype for that movie, but you only got one more Marvel movie left before that one, and that's Fantastic Four, and they're kind of running on that one. And for me, this is just my opinion. The trailers to Fantastic Four have been underwhelming, in my opinion. I don't sense excitement other than, oh, this is a more accurate version of Fantastic Four compared to the past versions. so that automatically makes it good or exciting or hyped up. Like, no, you gotta do more than that. I mean, I don't see it, but I could be wrong. Okay, they use lower budgets to make more movies so far. Peter Pan, Neverland, Nightmare made 1 million now. Bambi, Pinocchio, and the Universe, aka Avenger like, are coming soon. Anyways, heading out by. All right, thanks for stopping by, Transformers man. I didn't know the Peter Pan movie came out already, but I'm good. All right, all right. Have a good night, man. Thanks for stopping by in the stream. So yeah, like I was saying, Thunderbolts not doing well, and Fantastic Four has to do a lot better. I'm pretty sure it will. I mean, the trailers have been, let's say, gaining more attention than the Thunderbolts trailers we're getting. So I think it'll do fine. I mean, I'll say the marketing for it is better than the Thunderbolts by comparison. It has more popular characters compared to the Thunderbolts, so just by that, it should do better. But how much better? That's what we have to wait and see. And it also depends how the movie is, really. Um, so yeah, another bump for Marvel, financially at least. Sinners, a movie I also reviewed. Really, I also really like too. Still doing well at the box office. Um, Word of mouth has been amazing in this movie. Yes, even though internationally it hasn't done amazing, domestic alone, boom, right there, 261, 341 already, and let's see here. Yeah, it's probably gonna make another 15, 20 million. So, it may be close, probably 370, 380 when it's all done worldwide. On a $90 million budget, that's really good. And how low opened? Um, the word of mouth afterwards, the legs in this movie has been insane. Um, yeah, I'm not thinking about the Minecraft movie. Fuck that movie. I didn't see it. I'm just no interest in Minecraft. I don't. Not for me. No, not for me. Anyway, so I mean, we still got more movies coming out this summer. I know one of the big ones is, at least the month of June, How to Train Your Dragon. 28 years later. I think the Ballerina movie, the John Wick spinoff, that's also coming out next weekend. I know this weekend is Karate Kid Legends, which I forgot that movie was coming out. Just to show you how just like I don't sense any excitement for that movie. I said this when I'm talking about movies coming out this summer. I don't. I just, and from what I heard, there's not much to it. Like, it doesn't do anything better than what Cobra Kai already did, and I had a feeling just from that trailer. So, yeah, I mean, from what I'm seeing, it's not gonna open well. It's not gonna do that well. So, I don't know what the budget for that movie is. We'll see. Um, so yeah, but for that's like I don't know about Karate Kid. So, yeah. So, last thing I'll cover here is an article about a little movie coming out in July called Superman. Box office tracking and forecast. Well, Superman was tracking to 154 million to 175 million. Soar to 2005's best opening potential milestones for DC and James Gunn. Okay. This article was written by Sean Robbins, who's a friend of mine. I haven't spoken to him in a while, but good guy. Good box office guy. So, here we go. Key traffic factors and rationale. James Gunn's Superman is positioned as one of the. Sorry. me start over. James Gunn's Superman is positioned as one of this summer's marquee tentpoles with a mid-July date that's housed multiple franchise mega performers in recent years. Like, for example, the Dark Knight movies, other Nolan films, etc., etc. The DC brand and comic book films at large have seen diminished returns in the post-Avengers Endgame world outside. I'm sorry, the post-Avengers Endgame world outside the occasional event-level performer at the box office, aka Barbenheimer. Audience selectivity and fan demand are all at an all-time high in the broader realm of superhero and comic films. Superman, in particular, has been a character with an image that has been challenging for many filmmakers, writers, and creatives to make relevant for the 21st century pop entertainment. Superman Returns and Man of Steel are examples of that. Okay. I don't want to compare too much. I'll get in trouble. Superman. I read the part. In December, the first full trailer became the most viewed in Warner Brothers and DC history, with a reported 250 million plus. Now, when it's the views here, it's not only the YouTube views, but also the views on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and other places. That's all the views. So it makes sense why something like this would be the most viewed DC trailer of all time, like that. When, let's say, like, for example, when Dark Knight Rises was coming out, there was no TikTok, there was no Instagram. There was only really YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. So, if now the Dark Knight Rises came out, and there was Instagram and there was TikTok, it probably would get more than 250 million views here. But social media has been different in the last decade. It's definitely changed. Alright, so early sentiment and traffic across multiple social channels are demonstrably strong. Gunn himself has naturally been interactive. Gunn himself has naturally been an interactive advocate for the film, and his oversight of DC Studios rebooting the entire comic universe for Warner Brothers and igniting enthusiasm for a new vision of key characters. Yes, have you seen the Superman trailer or follow the production? You got the Lantern character, Hawkgirl, Mr. Terrific, Metamorpho, and of course Crypto. Alright, so you have a lot of characters to juggle here, James Gunn, and for the most part, he does well. I mean, if you've seen the Guardians movies, you know he can handle multiple characters here. He knows how to do ensemble very well. Alright, and the Suicide Squad, of course. For Superman specifically, the writer-director's emphasis on character-driven themes of compassion could resonate in a unique way with today's escapism, seeking culture, and crucially, a younger audience that is due to fresh exposure to and renewed interest in the character. Yeah, I mean, there's so much stuff going on in the world today, in the real world, where people just feel like, man, if a Superman that's optimistic just came down and fixed things, or at least attempted to fix things, that will make the world so much better. Like that aspect to the film, which from what I've seen in the trailers, is that's what it's going for. That's to me, I think that's where it's attracting younger people here. That's gonna be key because older fans will probably watch it regardless. DC Superman fans are always gonna watch these movies. You need to get young people. Also, some old people too. Like, let's say someone 50 and up, 60 and up, who don't usually go to movies anymore, especially with what happened with the pandemic 5 years ago. You need to get that crowd. that you usually don't get, or the younger people, young kids or teenagers. Like if they're interested in the movie will do well, and that's where this is 150, 175 tracking numbers coming from here. Competition will be somewhat notable, but far from overpowering. Opening 9 days after Jurassic World Rebirth, which is tracking to be successful in its own right, but still the lowest performer of the franchise since the 2015 revival. That film should have burned off enough upfront demand to be minor consequence. Yeah, like I said, when I talk about movies coming out of summer, I said Jurassic World Rebirth. No matter what, it feels like it's in its last legs for the franchise. It's gonna be the beginning of the diminishing returns for the Jurassic franchise, because just like another friend of mine, I'll say his name, Jamie Williams, film nerd Jamie. Um, he always says he's always said for years when it comes to box office, franchise IP films. What do people think of the last one? People hated the last Jurassic World movie, Dominion. They're not gonna be as excited to watch this one, even if it is a Fourth of July release. People are gonna like, oh wait, then it wasn't like that last Jurassic World movie. I hated that movie. I'm not gonna go watch another one. Especially if the trailers themselves, like I don't mind the trailers. I think the trailers are fine for Rebirth, but nothing to get me like super hyped. Really, and I didn't even hate Dominion, but most people did, so they're not gonna be excited for another one. Really. Um, so I don't see Rebirth hurting Superman, especially since Superman's trailers have been way overwhelmingly positive by comparison to Rebirth. So similarly, Fantastic Four First Steps opens 2 weeks after Superman. Well, it will cut into the film's IMAX and premium screen footprint. Both can coexist if word of mouth is strong enough, going into the back end of a summer that lacks many more tentpoles with direct audience crossover. So yeah, pretty much like Fantastic Four First Steps is like the last big release of the summer, which is also a Superman movie. But again, yes, the Fantastic Four marketing has been mostly positive. But compared to Superman's marketing, that marketing has been overwhelmingly positive by comparison. Um, so even though Superman's sandwich in between Rebirth and Fantastic Four, it will do fine regardless. I think ticket pre-sales have yet to begin, but they'll be an integral part of the mid to late tracking when they do. All right, so yeah, I mean I know ticket sales are not out yet. I think they're gonna be out in first week of June, I believe. Um, I mean, he talks about other stuff, other movies that are coming out. Pixar's new movie Elio, Megan 2.0, which I'm not interested. Uh, so let's see. Hold on. Ballerinas is trying to do 33 million. I don't think it's gonna do. I think it's gonna open lower than that. Just the fact that they're pushing Keanu Reeves in the marketing when he's not even the main character of the story just shows you how little confidence Lionsgate has in Ballerina. And I think Megan 2.0 is gonna suffer from like it's too goofy. The sequel is too goofy compared to the first movie. It's gonna suffer because of that. I'm telling you now. Um, yeah. So yeah. Superman tracking pretty big. It's gonna be interesting. Uh, when it finally opens, and I'll say this again. I've been saying this all freaking year. This movie is gonna do better than you think. We're already seeing some proof here. Some, again, Once the tickets go on sale, we're gonna get a better look at the tracking here. But if its tracking is still the same, like 150, 170, or if it's more than that, you better believe it. It could open to 200. It could. I don't think it will open to 200, but it's gonna be close. Um, I'm trying to think. What is the biggest? Oh yeah, Batman vs Superman is the biggest opening weekend for a DC movie. Is it? Oh yeah, it is. It is. Okay. Um, yeah, I think it's gonna reach those numbers. Definitely. I think just um, I think the interest to this movie is bigger than a lot of people are giving credit for. And but at the end of the day, the quality really truly matters. And again, don't be surprised if you hear a lot of people say when the movie finally comes out. I've said this all year already. I know I sound like a broken record. I've said it in the streams. And I'll say it again. A lot of people are gonna say, "Hey, Superman was a lot better than I thought it was gonna be." There's gonna be a lot of positive reactions. I'm not talking about just DC fans, Superman fans, or critics here. I'm talking about general people that you know want to see this movie. So that indication alone already tells me this is gonna open. This is gonna be bigger than you think, bigger than you thought it was going to be. Um, so that's pretty much it for the night. I think I got on long enough. I've been on here for 90 minutes, so I think it's time to wrap it up. So yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you, Transformers fan. It's been a long time, buddy. I know. Team on. Keep on for a bit. Thank you, Team on, for coming on. I wish you would have interacted more, but that's okay. Um, yeah, check out Team On's channel. He does uh YouTube streams. He reviews horror movies and horror topics with his friends. Um, I think once a week. I want to say good stuff. Yeah, and people, whoever watches this stream later on, if you missed it live, uh, let me know what you thought about Mission Impossible, Final Reckoning, Cloud in the Cornfield, and Final Destination Bloodlines. How do you rank the Mission Impossible movies? How do you rank the Final Destination movies? And what do you think is going to be the next big box office hit of the summer? We got a couple potentials. I mean, Lilo Stitch was huge. Stop into yeah. I mean, How to Train Dragon can potentially do well. 28 years later, I'm curious how that does. And the July release, the big ones. Um, so yeah. All right. Thank you for watching, and everybody have a good night. And final thing I'll say: watch out for those damn pennies.